When you want to send requests from React to Flask, you might face some errors that you have no idea where the problem is. Does it in Flask part or React part? Postman is an application that you can send different types of requests like GET or POST requests. With this app, you can check the response of your Flask and recognize with which type of request it will work properly. In order to use this app, you have to first install it and then in the interface of it, here is the type of your request, which is POST here. And here you can type your destination URL, which here is our URL for server Flask part, and here is the port of it and endpoint login. Here is the body of your message that you can change the type of the data here. For example, we want to send JSON file, we have to choose raw. Here at the drop down box, we have to choose JSON, and here is our data. As you can see here, the response from Flask will be shown here. It is a useful application and I recommend you to use it in order to prevent some errors in your code and recognize what is the reasons of these errors. MongoDB Compass, which will be installed automatically when you install MongoDB, is another tool that makes interact with your data easier. It is a graphical user interface for MongoDB. As you can see here, the database name for this project is users database, and the collection's name is user collection. There are two datas in our database. Each of them consists of first name, last name, email, and password, which we will use them later. Now there is a question. How should the Flask and React communicate with each other? As you can see here, React would send a request with data to the Flask, and the Flask would process the request and then send response back to React. There are two methods to sending requests from React, Axios and Fetch, and each of them have some advantages. Some developers prefer Axios over built-in APIs for its ease of use, but many overestimate the need of such a library. The simplicity of setting timeouts in Axios is one of the reasons some developers prefer it to Fetch. One of the main selling points of Axios is its wide browser support. Even old browsers like IE 11 can run Axios without any issue. The Fetch API, on the other hand, only supports Chrome 42 plus, Firefox 39 plus, Edge 14 plus, and Safari 10.1 plus. Axios automatically stringifies the data when sending requests and performs automatic JSON data transformations. Fetch makes it easier to make async requests. Last but not least, Axios works in Node.js, and because the data which we want to send with React are JSON types, we have decided to use Axios in this project. Axios is a JavaScript library used to make HTTP requests from Node.js or HTML HTTP requests from the browser, and it supports the Promise API that is native to JSES6. And as I have said, it performs automatic transforms of JSON data. We can install Axios by this command, npm install Axios, and import it like this in a React project. And here you can see it's a body of Axios. For example, in this project, when you click on submit button, this function submit will be called. And here is the Axios. Axios needs URL, which is our destination URL, and the methods of sending our data, which here is post, and our data, main data. Here is email and password. And after that, in then, we have to say that what would you like to do with our response? That here we want to save it in our state. And here is how to deal with the error. Here we catch it and we show it in our console. In the next video, I will explain you the main code in IDE and explain how does this project actually works.